Hello, I'm Jacqueline. I'm Jennifer.
I'm Santa Claus without a hat.
This is Connie, everyone.
Grease.
Woo.
The captain's in the house.
And this is our point of view. Oh my goodness, guys, we're on YouTube now, so make sure you tune into YouTube, like us, share our YouTube page, as well as YouTube channel, as well as subscribe. Turn on those notifications. Turn on your notifications so every time there's a new show, you'll be notified of it. And we're talking about politics. This is actually part 2 of our show on politics. And when we left off, we were talking about support in our community. We were talking about support in our community or the lack thereof.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why is it that black folks don't support each other?
Quality.
There's a lot of reasons. Some black people do support each other.
The biggest reason is there's 2 big reasons.
What's the big reason?
Lack of trust.
Right.
Okay. Lack of experience. Those 2.
And what's the next one?
Okay. No, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Lack of trust,
big things.
lack of experience. Most black folks don't trust each other. We don't trust each other with our money.
I have a question.
But there's a reason for that. I mean,
because we
Well,
don't.
they did that to us from the beginning of time.
Exactly.
That's why.
We don't know how to go about doing business.
Right.
If you look at what's going on in the school systems, we're going in our households, we're not taught how to be entrepreneurs.
That's what I was getting ready to say, Cheney.
We're not
They have brainwashed. We got to wash our brains all the way back to the beginning of time because that's what they did to us. They taught us not to honor one another, not to respect one another, not to trust one another. That's what we've been taught.
I had a good conversation with a friend of mine and why 45 is in power. 45 is in power. Nobody cares anything about his moralistic side. They love the fact that he allows this country to make money. America is based on making money. Most of your entrepreneurs, that's what they know how to go about making money. The reason that African Americans are not into the mix is because we don't know how to get into the game and play and make money.
Now you preach it. Okay.
But you know what though? Let me tell you
You
something.
all right with me today
Let me tell you
now.
something. Let me
I
tell you
like what
something.
you're saying.
Let me tell you something. We do know how to play the game.
we know how to play the game.
We know how to play the game, but they don't want us to play.
Hold on, but that's fine.
They
But
don't
no,
want us
but that's all well and fine.
Well, we gotta make
But
our
the
own
thing
game,
is-
play
But
our
the
own
thing
game.
is, if you do it, see, and here's another thing, and I'll say this, and I don't really want to get off into this, but I'm a believer of what Malcolm X said. Now,
Come on, Malcolm.
There was a philosophy between Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Malcolm was not for integration; he was for equal access. Martin Luther King was for integration. Integration has hurt African Americans more than it's helped us. We needed equal access to funding, so because we already had businesses in our neighborhoods. We had the local grocery store. We had the local dry cleaners. We had the shoe shop. We had the restaurants. And we were thriving. If you go in every major
Come
city in the
on,
United States,
Cheney.
back in
That's
the
right.
50s and 60s, there was
That's
an
right.
area of town that every black Americans, when they would come, when you would go to New York, where would you go? You go to Harlem. You come to Atlanta, you either go to Auburn Avenue or Hunter Street. Okay? I mean, you can name this around every city. The thing,
right.
what
Go to the
we
Hill
needed
District.
to do with that was to take that
And
and,
expand it.
grow it.
Grow it.
Yes.
What we did was we integrated
That's
and we
right.
lost it.
Yeah.
We didn't, and the other thing that's not occurred that most other races do is that they pass down knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
That's the other thing. There's no transcendence that occurs in our group. We don't take and say, hey, this Connie is my daughter. She's going to be the doctor in the family. We're going to make sure we style everything to make sure that she's able to do that.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah. She's going to, Jennifer is going to be the dentist, or she's going to be the real estate person. She's the part of the family that's going to do that. And all of it together
That's
helps to
right.
make an enterprise that then tends to grow. And you're looking at your grandchildren, you're looking at what you're getting ready to impart in them because that's going to come from them. That's what groups do.
But you have to remember,
we've been fighting to be
growing
so
up,
equal.
there wasn't conversation in the house.
I agree,
And
because
that's
we've
one of
been with
that's
the
the problem. There was
the
a lack of
conversation-
communication.
the
The communication that we
conversation
should have had,
changed.
we didn't have.
The conversation changed because we were focused on quote unquote being Americans Okay? Instead of being entrepreneurs. And that would have happened as us becoming Americans anyway. Case in point, I'm going to give this to you. You remember back when Bill Cosby got on TV? He was the first African American that was on a drama TV show. Then all of a sudden he got all these other things. He became Dr. Bill Cosby. After a while, he grew to a certain point that he wasn't black anymore because he had more money than God. If he came into a situation in the networks, they would give him whatever he asked for. Oprah Winfrey is the same way. She's not looked at as being black. She is the authority now. If you get her book in your book club, you take off. Okay?
Oprah,
if Oprah says it, it's okay. She has a voice now.
Right.
Because why? Because of her wealth. That's the issue, folks. And we've got to get out of this emotional trying to be equal. We've got to work on having resources,
Building,
and
yeah.
it will happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what we're going back to the initial talk. We've got to go back to the basics. We've got to go back to coming up with ideas, coming up with quality services, maintaining consistency over time.
Absolutely.
And over time, we will do that. Now, within our individual families, we got to take the onus of this with our children and start teaching them. Okay, this is how we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to start right now. We're going to make sure you're able to do this so that you can then impart this into your children. We're going to start that legacy.
Right.
Okay? And that's how it's going to happen. This is
That's
not
how it's
going.
gonna
This is
happen.
not going to take. This is not a situation that's going to be overnight. This is going to. We're going to have to put together a 50 to 70-year plan for our race, given what the changing trends are going to be, and we're going to have to be able to be adaptable to those trends.
But
Because things
changes
move
are
quick.
being made because when I was growing up, my parents didn't talk to us about going to college.
I agree.
And then when I had my first two, I didn't talk to them about going to college.
Right, but
my last two,
that conversation's got
I
to
told
change.
them you have no choice.
Right.
You're going to college.
That conversation's right. That's
Right,
what's got
so
to happen.
it's happening. It's happening. And with that being said, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back more of our point of view in a moment. You are long with.
Crest presents
From the United States, Lori Hernandez.
I got this. I got this. I got this.
Start your day right with Crest and get ready to face anything with a smile.
I got this.
Try Crest. It works.
Life taught me that success requires hard work. No way around it. Always have a clear vision. Realize timing is key. Be willing to push yourself. Keep moving forward. Trust technology to support you. And make sure you stay in control. And remember, your biggest competitor is yourself.
And welcome back to Our Point of View. And right now we want to send our condolences to the family of the 41st President of the United States of America, George H.W. Bush, who has passed away at the age of 94. He passed away on November 30th, and so we send our condolences to his wife Barbara and the entire Bush family.
Yes. President Bush. I did. 94. Good life.
Great life.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, the B94. Lord, can I live to see 94?
will.
That's
You
a
will.
blessing.
You will.
So we do
Long
it.
life. Long
The
life.
last-
And one
the
thing I
last-
wanted to say about President Bush was that back in the early 90s, he had something called the 1,000 Points of Light, where he highlighted 1,000 people across America who were doing great things in their community. And my husband was one of those 1,000 Points of Light. I remember when I first met my husband, he flew us out to Orlando. He bought down Disney World, like bought it out. And we were
Who
there
did
for
your husband?
It's coming,
thought I'd
baby.
throw it in
It's
there.
coming, baby.
I wanna go.
George Bush did. He brought it out, and we were able to just. I mean, it was phenomenal. It was absolutely incredible. And my husband was one of the points of light for his war on crimes and drugs in the community. We were living in Trenton and Newark at the time. Very active in the community, and I mean, it was just beautiful, and you got to meet all the 1,000 people and their families.
Wow.
Got to go there and do for free for the entire weekend at
cool.
Disney.
That's cool.
great.
Yeah,
So
that was great.
I just actually want to correct myself. I did mention Barbara Bush, as we all know that she is also deceased. So I just wanted to say our condolences to the family who has now lost both George and Barbara.
And it's important to note too that they were married for 73
Ooh.
years.
Barbara,
And
Barbara,
they're
come
the-
lay hands right here, baby. From where you at? 70 what?
73 years, and they were
73
the
years of
longest, the longest married presidential couple on record.
Wow.
So,
Oh
And I gotta
my
get,
God.
and I gotta give it to George Bush. The American Disabilities Act
yeah.
was due to him,
Oh.
and he saw over the end of the Cold War. Okay, the last little bits of the fall of the Soviet Union. That's now, which as we know is Russia.
Wow.
And now, how many children do they have? Do you guys know?
They have 6 kids.
They have
Have
6
six.
children.
One passed.
Right, the daughter.
Oh.
She passed from
She had
leukemia.
leukemia.
Oh, okay.
But and it's
Wow.
also important to note too that that our President Barack Obama, did award him the presidential
Medal of Honor. That's
Yeah.
right. The Congressional Medal.
Oh,
of Honor.
wow,
Congressional
nice.
Medal of Honor. Yes.
And when did that take place?
That's
2013.
yeah.
That was in 2013. Okay.
Listen,
Very nice.
ask Cheney. Listen,
You know everything.
this man right here, between him and my
Well, all things
husband,
political.
all I know is politics.
Well, speaking of politics, let's go back to the Mississippi elections.
Yes.
You talking about that Hyde Smith woman?
Let me tell you right now.
Yeah, let's talk
Be
about that.
nice, Cheney.
Okay,
No,
let me
tell
be
us,
nice.
come on.
Let me be nice.
Be
No,
nice. Be
that-
nice.
No, don't be nice.
No, I'm gonna be nice.
They
That
want your point of
Confederate
view.
lover,
You're talking about the lady who said she would attend the public hanging?
public hanging.
Talking about
that-
the
that
place
one?
where I'm not going to spend not one red cent.
Right.
Not one
Okay.
real cent.
Her?
I'm not going to Mississippi.
You want me to be? I'm being nice.
Okay,
That's what
be
she
nice.
is. You know,
Wow.
she's pitiful. But one good thing, again, like we were talking about earlier in the other segment of the other show, it's starting to come together. We're starting to recognize. I mean, the thing is, the state of Mississippi had to make a choice. Do they want to proceed with this, or do they want to stay back in the past? They made an election to show that they want to stay back in the past. Well, economics will dictate otherwise. So companies won't come there and spend money.
Oh,
But
and the
let me
companies that
ask you
pulled
something
out.
about that, though. Seriously, so these things that she said, was it in her current recent years, or was it something she said?
No,
years
this
ago?
is something she said
Yeah,
recently.
recent. It was
She
recent,
said
but it's
recently while
past.
she was running.
Yeah.
It's recent.
But
She
it's,
was recent.
but it's
Oh,
stuff
wow.
in her
You know,
past
and see,
too.
the thing about it is, here's the difference between. Now I'm gonna say this: the difference between white folks and everybody else. They can say stuff, and I was just saying it in jest, but you'll get tagged for saying it forever. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what the rules.
Well,
are.
I was just wondering because
Yeah.
everybody,
we know that based on what
everybody
45 said.
changes.
Well,
People change
she
and
had
their
changed.
thoughts change.
You know, her apology was,
Wow.
I'm sorry if I offended someone.
If I offended
If I
somebody.
offended somebody.
So she
Right.
knows she didn't offend some people, and
And she
offended
said, well,
some.
this is being used as a political stunt against me. But that came out your mouth.
Right.
Nobody made you say that.
Right.
You didn't have to say that. That wasn't
Right.
necessary. You were saying it because you were ginned up from the group of people that you were in front of that
And you
think
were
the same
comfortable,
way
right.
that you do.
Right.
And it's unfortunate too that sort of language appeals to that population of Mississippi which tends to be uneducated because you don't attend those sorts of events in 2018. But you don't talk about it, you don't see it, you don't speak it, you just don't. And those companies that Eric mentioned were pulling out. Taking their money and running the other way.
Company can understand and go back to what I was saying before about when we were talking earlier. You still have to look at it from the context. This is a country that is primed to make money. Companies now see what the trends are, and they say, okay, if we go in this direction, we'll segregate ourselves from this group of people and these dollars. Do we make that calculation? And they're making calculations to go towards the majority to get the majority of dollars.
Right.
Okay, so what's happening is you see a minority of people now in America, which is the roughly 35% of people that support 45, okay? They're now, these companies are now focusing on the 65%, and they're not worrying about the 35, because that's where more of the dollars are.
Right.
So states like Mississippi, other states, other ruby red states, they're going to start rethinking things as the landscape changes. Because see, people are starting now, as there more engagement in these elections, as we move further, more of that thing is going to change. And if they want to be in the mainstream and they want to make dollars, they want that factory to come to Mississippi that they need to have. Just like when all of the foreign car companies that have come to the South, they've populated South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, and Arkansas.
But what we got to understand, though, Cheney, is that, I mean, it's not like only white people live in Mississippi. It's black people that live here, too.
I agree.
A lot of them, and they voted for her as well, because they like what she's doing in Mississippi, regardless as to what she said.
I don't know.
Okay.
But you know what, though? She 20
Get some
years
popcorn
ago,
and watch.
But 20 years ago, she was a Democrat.
She lost.
But that, I mean,
And I understand that.
I'm-
but-
Sleep.
My lines of Republican and Democrat are altogether different now. You know, to me, quite honestly, they're all the same.
But and here's a thought. Here's a thought.
You're gonna be all right. Sit back, relax.
It sounds like you, okay, Cheney. I like what I'm hearing over there.
Relax.
Here's
You
a-
don't really listen to me real
That's
well.
good.
Here's a thought. There was an actress
She
that
doesn't really listen to me. She gets the highlight. She reading the clip notes. I actually have a whole stuff.
you got a whole itinerary.
I do.
Now, what were you going to say,
I was
Captain?
gonna say that I was looking at a special and they were talking to some Caucasian, some white female actresses, and they were saying how they see the disparity in black roles in Hollywood, and they were saying just amongst themselves, amongst other white female actresses, we need to have a conversation with these white directors and say, look, you know this is not right. You know this is not right. You know you need to be a little bit more liberal in the roles. Yeah, you still look at the talent, but if you know the talent is there, why not? And so I think the same thing translates to politics. With respect to the election in Mississippi, it's like, come on, really? You gonna support that? For what? That's dead wrong with what she said, the pictures that were shown, the agenda that she continues to push, with the half-hearted apology or lack thereof. It's like, come on, we're just talking about right and wrong.
Right. But see, here's where I just a little bit, I differ just a little bit now, because we got to look at it through a different prism. Where does this economically position me? Is that the right position to take? Are these people really, is Highsmith, let's look at her platform, because see, now she's senator now. Okay,
yeah.
she's senator. So let's understand. Okay, Mr. Highsmith, what's your platform? What are you going to do to bring some money to Mississippi? What are you going to do for those poor farmers down there that voted for you?
Because she's been real quiet.
And what you got to do is put them on point to say, hey, y'all need to watch her and see what she's doing over these next 6 years that she's senator.
Well,
did she really take care of your interests like she said she was?
Well, she's got ground to make up now, because see, those companies have already left.
Right.
They already pulled their money.
What is she now? Those companies going. What are you looking for her to do to get your stuff back? Because you still poor down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it is.
No, but see, we got to get. You got to get away from. That's what I'm serious now. You got to get away from this emotion about trying to appeal to somebody's heart. Yeah. That doesn't work in America anymore. America is about making money.
Money talks.
You need to get into that. Y'all gonna say it again. You need to get into that vein, and through that vein, figure out those things that you need.
Yeah.
Okay. But along the way, you're making money. You're surviving. You're adding to the gross product of this country.
Right.
And we got to stop, because this man is saying that we got to go make some more money. So we're gonna come right back with our point of view.
When playing football, you run up to 120 pitches. You work out 650 muscles. You withstand 3 times your body weight. You treble your adrenaline production. You raise your heartbeat to 180 times per minute. And in the end, you lose up to 3 liters of sweat. for one goal. This game is not a game. Gatorade works with no artificial colors or sweeteners.
You know, ABFF represents the very core of what has always sustained us as a people, community.
This is such a crucial space where we can see ourselves
and feel represented.
A film festival that said, you are enough.
This is where I started, where Ryan Coogler started.
The first major festival to have my work online.
Thank you for celebrating our art.
I feel the love.
I'm a proud black man, and yet I embraced the gospel of Jesus Christ, and I've stayed in that faith for 39 years. That should say something. I hope it does. This gospel is for all people.
Experience the story of Black Mormons from the church's beginnings to the present. Purchase Nobody Knows, The Untold Story of Black Mormons at Benchmark Books, the BYU Bookstore, or online at untoldstoryofblackmormons.com.
And we're back to Our Point of View. Now we're going to talk about the weather.
Climate change?
Climate change.
When it's cold outside.
Wait, no, because what's crazy is 2 days ago, we was like snorkels and hats and gloves.
Right.
Yesterday we bust out nothing.
Right.
Nothing on. Just come outside. It's beautiful. No, that's scary.
2 weeks ago, California was burning up.
Yeah.
Now they're dealing with mudslides.
Now they're dealing with mudslide and rain.
Yesterday was a major earthquake, a 7.0 in Alaska. Icebergs are melting and falling, and
And the report that just came out that the government just put together was saying.
Who put that together?
That was the government.
Okay.
Put together what?
It was from a consortium of scientists that put together that if we don't start doing some things as far as climate change is concerned, and we start instituting some changes now, by the end of the century, it will be irreversible. Cities like Miami, all cities on the eastern coast are going to start experiencing. Well, they're starting that now. Experiencing flooding. It's just the problem is going to get exacerbated over time. Forest fires in California will increase.
Yep.
Bad inclement weather in the middle of the country. There will be more tornadic activity. All right. As the sea level rises, and a matter of fact, they're saying that the sea temperature is supposed to rise roughly 1 or 2 degrees over the next 15 to 25 years. Now that doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is.
You're talking about Miami and then flooding. That brings on snakes and gators, right?
Gators. Well, the thing is, it's amazing because then you don't really. You know how we always flew to Caribbean to go where it was warm, or you wanted to move to south because it was always going to be beautiful there. And now it's starting like I was telling somebody the other day. I've been in Atlanta 18 years, but when I first came to Atlanta, it was never cold. Like I didn't bring any winter clothes here because it was just always beautiful year round. Now it almost feels like I'm in Jersey. It's some of the weather is like, wait a minute, Atlanta, what y'all doing?
Well, in California, it's brush fire season all year round.
Yeah.
All 12 months. I mean, we're already into December. Today's December 1st, first day in December. But just like I said, a couple of weeks ago, November, Thanksgiving.
But see, you have to understand that when you look at climate change in a whole totality, it's almost like it's a hodgepodge of things in a fishbowl. You've got a lot of events that occur over here that affect this. For instance, droughts over in the Midwest affect crops.
Yeah.
Crops, one of the major staples in America. You have to understand and realize this too. You didn't know this, that we create 2/3 of the world's food, and we feed 3/4 of the world. And we have so much food that we throw it away. I mean, that's another show.
That's a huge problem.
But you're going to start seeing more droughts, which is it's going to be cutbacks on certain products as far as crops. There's going to be a lack of certain things. One of the other things that's been occurring, life expectancy in America is starting to go down. I mean, it's just a confluence of things that are going to occur just because of the things that are going on just in your environment.
We're beating up Mother Earth.
Right. And I think that we need to listen to the young people because it's funny because I remember my son back in his freshman year of high school, he was saying, "Mommy, I'm telling you, this climate change, you got to don't sleep on it." He was telling me and my husband where we need to buy a house and don't buy it here because this is gonna happen with this, and all of it's all coming into fruition. So what are we 5-6 years later, and now this is really happening. So these young people, they are. I'm telling you, these young people are on it. They know all of this stuff that's going on, and they are making moves. You know, so that they can help with. Affecting climate change. So when they talk about, you know, the plastic and recycling and all that, he used to say, "Mommy, we need to be recycled." I'd be like, "Boy, put that thing in the trash." But now, you know, you really
there's so much more information
and
available.
We're not doing things.
Right.
This is getting progressively worse, quicker.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the big issue.
And make no mistake, it didn't just start.
Right.
Like, in all fairness, it didn't just start with this administration. It's
Right.
been going, but hasn't been anything consistent that's being done. And now with the presence of there really just no focus being put on that, it's like, you know,
I mean, he doesn't,
Right.
Because there is no
doesn't
climate
believe,
change.
but he
That's
doesn't,
what it is.
But he
Right.
doesn't. Again, he's saying that you're 45 is seeing all these facts and figures that are coming from some of the best scientists that have been studying this stuff for years. He's saying, well, he doesn't believe it. But here's the other part. Here's the thing. Again, goes back to my original segments. They're looking at it through the prism of money. If we go start doing these things, this cuts off money.
Military funding.
And it's about what's immediate right now instead of what's long term. You see, what we're thinking, and like what you were saying about your son, well, yeah, that's important that we maintain a legacy and leaving the earth intact for us to survive. Because a case in point, do you remember the comedian George Carlin?
Yes.
Yeah.
George Carlin had a stand up that he did years ago. It was very, very profound. He was a humorist, and but his stuff was thought provoking. He said he talked about the Earth Day and they're keeping the Earth green. He said that's the most arrogant comment that you could ever make. He said the Earth will always be green. He says the problem is you won't be here to see it. He said because you keep doing the stuff to abuse it and everything. He said it's been out here in the universe going around the sun for billions of years. It's been hit by meteorites, comets, everything else, and it just keeps going on. What you tend to do is you come here, you abuse it, and what it does, it cleans itself. It says, oh, okay, fine. You don't want to act right, I'll clean myself up, and then you won't exist.
Right.
So that's where you have to look at this.
Yeah.
Climate change there are things that the climate is going to go up and down because of the changes in the universe and in the solar system. However, we can do things to fix it where we don't exist on it.
Right.
And that's what we're doing.
Right.
And we're not doing the things to allow us to exist on the planet.
Right.
That's what it is.
Keep throwing your plastic bottles in the ocean.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Well,
The Earth will take it.
45 blamed the forest fires on somebody. Just said we didn't rake the leaves right. I mean, you got to rake get those leaves up. Why you got the leaves laying out there? You're gonna start a fire.
Think about how preposterous that is.
But you gotta think about the situation. I mean, it's California. California is controlled by Democrats, so it's
But you know,
it's a political
fires
thing.
fires are a natural thing.
Especially if you have camping out in the forest, somebody's going to accidentally start a fire, and it just spreads.
There's the human factor with that, but there's also something called wildland-urban interface, which means when people start to move.
Come on, Cat.
What?
Teach
Bring it on. I told you.
Boy, you better tell it.
Spidey sense just went off when he said that.
Wildland-urban interface, basically when the population starts to move into the forestry area, and so you start having people making mistakes or doing humanly things that could cause
human intervention.
fire.
Again,
cause
goes
these
back to
fires.
my point.
So
Causing forest fire. Plus, along with the changing climate and there's not enough rain that occurs, that brush is dry. Winds come off of come across California. That wind picks up those embers and just takes them on.
Yes,
and it's just like air fire. It's just like it's unreal. And you know what? Al is swinging his arms. What does that mean?
It's not a helicopter blade. I think he means for us to go ahead and continue on to the next section. So we will be back with more Our Point of View in just a moment.
Touch the rainbow.
one-stop shopping find. Delano Marketplace.
And we're back here at Our Point of View, and you know, we were just all over the place talking about climate change, and guess what? We're going to talk about Black Friday, Cyber Monday,
and support.
Spending money.
Spending money.
Right. Don't do it.
Doing something we ain't got. Okay?
Right.
Spending beyond your means.
But it was crazy on Black Friday. I mean, they were, I saw one thing on the news where a Victoria's Secret in Tennessee, the girl opened up the door, all of a sudden these people just bum rushed her, and she had to jump up on the counter, and she was throwing clothes out, like, here. I'm like, oh my gosh. Where was security? You know, you seen all those people.
They were in there.
Oh
my God.
Well, see, Black Friday is now turned into early Thursday. Because now they start opening stores at 5 o'clock.
They've been doing that for the
I mean, so you don't get a chance.
years,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Stores open up at 5 o'clock. We might as well just go and open up Thanksgiving.
It's funny that
you know,
they show
you can
these
eat
stores.
turkey and go out there and buy it at the same time.
All those people going to Victoria's Secret like that?
Yeah, they were going for the draws.
For the
That's what they were snatching and grabbing.
Not that movement.
Not like that.
The worker, she was like, oh my God.
She jumped up on the counter like, what is going on? What's going on? Like, she was on panty patrol.
What?
She was
What you said?
Okay,
You say panty
my
patrol.
thing is, if you're throwing this up, are people actually going to go to the counter and pay for it? Or are they going to go back out the door?
I don't know.
No, they can't go back out the door. There's a whole mob that's pushing them forward.
So they go out another door. Oh my
And that's
goodness,
why I do not
That's why I do not do
retail
crowds.
at all.
And that's why I never did Black Friday and ain't
And I
doing
don't
it.
shop Black Friday.
Well, see,
nobody
it's
going
become a
out doing
tradition.
that.
I mean, for, you know, you have
That's one
Thanksgiving
tradition I
turkey,
will.
and then the next
No,
day you
never.
get prepared. You're up
Going to
at
Black
4 o'clock
Friday.
in the morning and have
No.
breakfast. You go out there and stand in front of a store and wait for a door to open.
Now, I can get with Cyber Monday, though, because you sit at
I
home
do Cyber
and you
Monday
shop
every
on
day.
the website and you just...
Here's the
Yeah,
thing with
Cyber
Cyber Monday.
Monday.
You know, now they're starting to infiltrate online and starting to do scams involved with Cyber Monday.
Right, yeah. So you have to be
it's-
very careful
Yeah.
with that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
too.
You
I
got
don't do none of it.
I don't
So
either.
you don't shop online?
I shop online, but not on no Cyber Monday. Like, I wasn't waiting for Cyber Monday to get here to do it.
You weren't
You get
geeked
the
up.
discount
You
on a
weren't
site that you regularly
geeked up
shop
for that.
on?
No.
You weren't looking to do
No,
that.
Connie goes to another country and shops.
No. I'm just saying.
I'm going to Australia to get the real Uggs because y'all wearing the fake ones. Getting the real Uggs. Boo, boo. That's Connie.
We'll be right back.
No, I'm just saying, I just don't get up caught in the commercialism
Yeah,
of the
I
holiday.
get
I,
it.
think
I
that
get
they're
it.
making money once again, you know what I mean? Here
But that's
we go
what this
back
country's
to
about.
Yeah. I
just
get it.
making money,
It's
making
money.
money, you know what I mean? Because they take the price up to bring it back down for what, one day?
Yeah.
So you already know what you should be paying originally for the product if they drop it all the way down.
You
So
know
I don't really
there's-
get into
there's
all of that like
approximately
that.
9 holidays on the calendar that Americans make money off of. 9.
Believe it.
Yeah.
9.
Believe it.
To get
Name
your
them
dollar.
before we go.
Christmas,
No.
Thanksgiving,
Christmas,
Valentine's Day,
Mother's Day,
Easter.
Mother's Day,
Halloween.
Easter,
Father's Day.
Halloween,
Father's Day.
Labor Day,
Labor Day.
Yeah.
Father's Day. They make money off Father's Day?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Fathers.
others.
Yeah.
It ain't as much as Mother's.
And now
but-
they got, and now
right,
they
They
got,
make a little something,
and
something.
now they got
Yeah, there you go.
Grandparents' Day, Bosses Day. It's just,
Well, guys, we had a great show, and you know what? This show is going to be shown around Christmas. So we just want to say happy holidays to everyone out there. Have a
happy
safe holiday.
holidays.
Yeah, as you can see, we're all set up for Christmas, so we just want to say happy holidays to you. And just remember, everything you heard and everything we said was our point of view.
Later,
We'll see you
folks.
next year. Bye-bye.
Black Friday is 5 o'clock.
Hey.